This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. This reading by Kara Schallenberg. Good Things to Eat, as suggested by Rufus. By Rufus Estes. Section 12. Sauces. Cucumber sauce. Pare 2 good-sized cucumbers and cut a generous piece from the stem end. Grate on a coarse grater and drain through cheesecloth for half an hour. Season the pulp with salt, pepper, and vinegar to suit the taste. Serve with broiled, baked, or fried fish. Gherkin sauce. Put a sprig of thyme, a bay leaf, a clove of garlic, 2 finely chopped shallots, and a cayenne pepper and salt into a saucepan, with 1 breakfast cup of vinegar. Place pan on fire, and when contents have boiled for 30 minutes, add a breakfast cup of stock or good broth. Strain it through a fine hair sieve, and stir in 1 1/2 ounces of liquefied butter, mixed with a little flour to thicken it. Place it back in the saucepan, and when it boils, stir in it a teaspoonful or so of parsley, very finely chopped, 2 or 3 ounces of pickled gherkins, and a little salt, if required. Giblet sauce. Put the giblets from any bird in the saucepan, with sufficient stock or water to cover them, and boil for 3 hours, adding an onion and a few peppercorns while cooking. Take them out, and when they are quite tender, strain the liquor into another pan, and chop up the gizzards, livers, and other parts into small pieces. Take a little of the thickening left at the bottom of the pan in which a chicken or goose has been braised, and after the fat has been taken off, mix it with the giblet liquor, and boil until dissolved. Strain the sauce, put in the pieces of giblet, and serve hot. Gooseberry sauce. Pick 1 pound of green gooseberries, and put them into a saucepan with sufficient water to keep them from burning. When soft, mash them, grate in a little nutmeg, and sweeten to taste with moist sugar. This sauce may be served with roast pork or goose instead of applesauce. It may also be served with boiled mackerel. A small piece of butter will make the sauce richer. Half-glaze sauce. Put 1 pint of clear, concentrated veal gravy in a saucepan. Mix it with 2 wineglassfuls of Madeira, a bunch of sweet herbs, and set both over the fire until boiling. Mix 2 tablespoonfuls of potato flour to a smooth paste, with a little cold water. Then mix it with the broth and stir until thick. Move the pan to the side of the fire, and let the sauce boil gently until reduced to 2/3 of its original quantity. Skim it well, pass it through a silk sieve, and it is ready for use. Ham sauce. After a ham is nearly all used up, pick the small quantity of meat still remaining from the bone, scrape away the uneatable parts, and trim off any rusty bits from the meat. Chop the bone very small, and beat the meat almost to a paste. Put the broken bones and meat together into a saucepan over a slow fire. Pour over them 1/4 pint of broth, and stir about 1/4 of an hour. Add to it a few sweet herbs, a seasoning of pepper, and 1/2 pint of good beef stock. Cover the saucepan, and stir very gently until well flavored with herbs, then strain it. A little of this added to any gravy is an improvement. Horseradish sauce. Place in a basin 1 tablespoonful of moist sugar, 1 tablespoonful of ground mustard, 1 teacupful of grated horseradish, and 1 teaspoonful of turmeric. Season with pepper and salt, and mix the ingredients with a teacupful of vinegar or olive oil. When quite smooth, turn the sauce into a sauceboat, and it is ready to be served. Lemon butter. Cream 4 level tablespoons of butter, and gradually add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, mixing thoroughly. Lemon sauce for fish. Squeeze and strain the juice of a large lemon into a lined saucepan. Put in with it 1/4 pound butter, and pepper and salt to taste. Beat it over the fire until thick and hot, but do not allow to boil. When done, mix with sauce the beaten yolks of 2 eggs. It is then ready to be served. Lobster butter. Take the head and spawn of some hen lobsters, put them in a mortar and pound. Add an equal quantity of fresh butter, and pound both together, being sure they are thoroughly mixed. Pass this through a fine hair sieve, and the butter is then ready for use. It is very nice for garnishing, or for making sandwiches. Maître d'Hôtel butter. Cream 1/4 cup of butter. Add 1/2 teaspoon salt, a dash of pepper, and a tablespoon of fine chopped parsley. Then, very slowly to avoid curdling, a tablespoon of lemon juice. This sauce is appropriate for beefsteak and boiled fish. Sauce à la Metcalfe. Put 2 or 3 tablespoonfuls of butter in a saucepan, and when it melts add about a tablespoonful of Liebig's extract of beef. Season and gradually stir in about a cupful of cream. After taking off, add a wineglassful of sherry or Madeira. Parsley and lemon sauce. Squeeze the juice from a lemon, remove the pips, and mince fine the pulp and rind. Wash a good handful of parsley, and shake it as dry as possible, and chop it, throwing away the stalks. Put 1 ounce of butter and 1 tablespoonful of flour into a saucepan, and stir over fire until well mixed. Then put in the parsley and minced lemon, and pour in as much clear stock as will be required to make the sauce. Season with a small quantity of pounded mace, and stir the whole over the fire a few minutes. Beat the yolks of 2 eggs with 2 tablespoonfuls of cold stock, and move the sauce to the side of the fire, and when it has cooled a little, stir in the eggs. Stir the sauce for 2 minutes on the side of the fire, and it will be ready for serving. Poivrade sauce. Put in a stewpan 6 scallions, a little thyme, a good bunch of parsley, 2 bay leaves, a dessert spoonful of white pepper, 2 tablespoons of vinegar, and 2 ounces of butter, and let all stew together until nearly all the liquor has evaporated. Add 1 teacupful of stock, 2 teacupfuls of Spanish sauce. Boil this until reduced to 1/2. Then serve. Royal sauce. Put 4 ounces of fresh butter and the yolks of 2 fresh eggs into a saucepan, and stir them over the fire until the yolks begin to thicken, but do not allow them to cook hard. Take sauce off the fire, and stir in by degrees 2 tablespoonfuls of tarragon vinegar, 2 tablespoons of Indian soy, 1 finely chopped green gherkin, 1 small pinch of cayenne pepper, and a small quantity of salt. When well incorporated, keep sauce in a cold place. When cold, serve with fish. Sauce for fish. Simmer 2 cups of milk with a slice of onion, a slice of carrot cut in bits, a sprig of parsley, and a bit of bay leaf for a few minutes. Strain onto 1/4 cup of butter rubbed smooth with the same flour. Cook 5 minutes, and season with a level teaspoon of salt and a saltspoon of pepper. Sauce mayonnaise. Place in an earthen bowl a couple of fresh egg yolks, and 1/2 teaspoonful of ground English mustard, 1/2 pinch of salt, 1/2 saltspoonful red pepper, and stir well for about 3 minutes without stopping. Then pour in 1 drop at a time 1 1/2 cupfuls of best olive oil, and should it become too thick, add a little at a time some good vinegar, stirring constantly. Sauce tartare. Use 1/2 level teaspoon of salt and mustard, 1 teaspoon of powdered sugar, and a few grains of cayenne beaten vigorously with the yolks of 2 eggs. Add 1/2 cup of olive oil slowly, and dilute as needed with 1 1/2 tablespoon of vinegar. Add 1/4 cup of chopped pickles, capers, and olives mixed. Tartar sauce. Mix 1 tablespoon of vinegar, 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, a saltspoon of salt, a tablespoon of any good catsup, and heat over hot water. Heat 1/3 cup of butter in a small saucepan until it begins to brown, then strain onto the other ingredients and pour over the fish on the platter. Shrimp sauce. Pour 1 pint of poivrade sauce and butter sauce into a saucepan, and boil until somewhat reduced. Thicken the sauce with 2 ounces of lobster butter. Pick 1 1/2 pints of shrimps, put them into the sauce with a small quantity of lemon juice, stir the sauce by the side of the fire for a few minutes, then serve it. Sauce for fried pike. Peel and chop very fine 1 small onion, 1 green pepper, 1/2 a peeled clove, and garlic. Season with salt, red pepper, and 1/2 a wineglassful of good white wine. Boil about 2 minutes, and add a gill of tomato sauce and a small tomato cut in dice-shaped pieces. Cook about 10 minutes. End of section 12. Read by Kara Schallenberg, www.kray.org, on June 5th, 2006, in Oceanside, California.